Alright, listen, I should probably know I recently uploaded a video talking about the worst types of college professors, and since one video is not enough for me to finish ranting, here's part 2. I don't remember if I mentioned this in part 1 or not, but all these are actual professors I've had or heard about in the university, and this one's going to be a little shorter, but don't worry, you can check out my latest 10-minute video after this one's over. Anyways, we're starting off with the Zoom class. As far as I know, the kind was mostly prevalent during the Dark Ages, also known as the 2020, because of the rules of not hugging toilet paper and practicing some level of social distancing. So since we couldn't go to the physical school, we had to settle for this 360p potato recorder, airline mic having, smooth brain producing virtual classes. And I'm not gonna come here and pretend I was in the top 0.1% of students who actually paid attention to that stuff.
Pay attention and you can learn a lot.
Because if it was a class I did not care about, I would much rather watch Markiplier raging in the pot mine game. These classes would not even be too bad if we didn't have professors who've never touched a computer in their lives. Use up 40 minutes of my time just setting up the meeting, but that's fine, I'm still not paying attention. The ones that really grinded my gears, the ones that really pressed my buttons, the ones that set the violence slider all the way to the right, were the ones who asked me to keep my camera on. Why? Look, I gotta be honest, I'm not very photogenic, but the same can't be said of anyone in a video call at 8 in the freaking morning. I don't want 30 other people and the professor looking in the face that looks like one of those SpongeBob close-ups. They did it because they knew we were just gonna take naps or have them as background noise if they didn't make the camera thing mandatory. And they were right. But it was still annoying because no one cared. No one paid attention to that stuff, brother. And you know for a fact everyone cheated as well. And following number 1, this is number 2. MIT lectures. Okay, this is mostly for STEM students, the suffer today and earn money. But in order to survive that endless math that is going to come your way, you'll soon realize your professors ain't going to cut it. Because they are so terrible, they are so disconnected from reality that they would skip even the most fundamental steps of a problem and go straight into more confusing stuff that you clearly don't know. And that's when they actually try to explain stuff. Because most of the time, these lazy creatures of evil would just sit back and play an MIT lecture for 30 minutes and then ask questions like they were the ones teaching. Bro, I know of a professor who even goes as far as to have literally, and I am not joking, word for word the same exams as the MIT lectures. The only things he changes are the name of the school and the class. I wouldn't even be surprised if lazy son of a peach forgot to change the name of the real professor. Bro, how do people like that even get hired? What did they say in the interview process that make others think that they are fit to teach when they have the same valuable input as XQC? But I bet even I could do a job like that with no training. Just sit down, watch a 30-minute video with no pauses, and then ask the most trivial, basic, no-brainer questions like I taught the people something. Like we just went on a meditation astral projection journey together. Get out of here with that stuff. And for number 3, we have my class isn't hard, you're just dumb.
What do you say? Science.
And now that we're on the final 2, these are the final bosses. If you thought high school teachers were bad, if you had a nice freshman year in uni without encountering any weirdos, if you were thanking your lucky stars, then I am here to tell you that you haven't seen anything yet. And to get ready, because these 2 final professors should not just stop teaching, but they should be in either prison or some sort of mental asylum, because this is unhinged behavior. Contrary to popular belief, it's not a creature only found in STEM majors. Well, these legendary creatures also inhabit the lands of the languages, arts, and other stuff that makes you no money after graduation, like communication. Mr. Dumas, that's what I'm gonna call him, my French professor, he was, again, as they tend to be, ordered the Moses sandals. That dude was so old, his social security card probably just had the number 1 in it. This guy used to just show a presentation with words he expected us to instantly memorize and would quiz us almost instantaneously with pronunciation. Anytime someone wouldn't answer correctly, he would roll his eyes like a middle school girl, or he would just make some kind of sarcastic comment. I remember him saying many times that he didn't care if he only had 5 students in his class. He would also make fun of some students for being late or for some other random reasons. And the other professor, let's call him the Great Kali. He's a something math related professor, and he's known around the school, even by people not on that major, as by far the worst professor in the university. A lot of the same things I've said about Mr. Dumas also apply to this dude. But he directly insults students and teaches the wrong stuff until someone points it out. And if you dare to answer one of his questions, well, you can be certain that unless you neuralize him, he's gonna keep calling on you every single class and make you feel dumb if you don't know the answer. Look, these are actual reviews for Mr. Kali. Let's read them.
Just save yourself the trouble and avoid him if you can.
Goes out of his way to show he's the smartest person in the room. He isn't very good at explaining difficult concepts and gets irritated by any questions.
The bane of my existence.
You know how bad you have to be for someone to say this about you? So far we've seen sloth, wrath, greed, pride, but there is one more deadly sin in this video, and that is lust. During my sophomore year in university, I encountered a professor that just didn't seem to be real. Nothing about this person looked normal. He had the face of a shiny tan yucca with the eyes and body of a drunk Teletubby. He spoke like the main actor in a low-budget movie, and he had the personality of Johnny Bravo with none of the charm. As a matter of fact, I reckon his real name was actually Johnny. If the description I gave you sounds like some lore description you'd find in an RPG game about some eldritch creature, well, it's because he kind of was one. This dude started his first class looking around the classroom for the baddies, and when he found one, who we'll call Alice, dude, he was more obsessed than a Swiftie. This dude would start every single class with a forced 5-minute conversation with Alice, asking about her day and stuff she liked, or whatever. If I recall correctly, he even asked for her number. Bro, this dude was creepy. If I recall correctly, he already had a wife and kids. He had no reason to be like this. He'd be constantly making weird jokes and just making the atmosphere feel weird, you know, like super awkward. And really what we needed was for someone to call HR and report this dude. If you don't take my word for it, here's some reviews.
He is not very fair in evaluating, and even more so if he doesn't like you. But the worst thing is that with women he is usually a little flirtatious and harassing.
He likes to be involved a lot and he is a little unpunctual. He is a storyteller and behaves very strangely with women. If you are a woman, be careful.
This guy was the absolute level 100 creep, the final boss of Reddit, who somehow made it past modding and got a job as a math professor. When I'm telling you, even as a dude, I got the worst type of vibes from that man. I can't even imagine poor Alice or some of the other baddies in the class. So if you have someone like Johnny, please report him. With some luck, he might end up in a room with Mark Henry trying to flirt with him, so he can see what it feels like. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the ending of the video. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. If you haven't for some reason seen part 1, well, click here to watch it. And if you did, perhaps this other video might be to your liking. As always, be good to your families, don't forget to drink some water and touch some grass every now and then. God bless you.